everybody, it's James here at the Sawyer Family Reviews channel. Today is Wednesday, October 23rd, 2019. This is your weekly comic book pickups video. Every week, I pick up my boys at least one comic each. Pick up my daughter Gracie some as well. And as always, I pick up my comics at Queen City Comics in Fairfield, Ohio, zip code 45014. If you're in the area and into comics, check out the shop. Also check out the toy department while you're over there. Let's jump in. True Believers is still going with the X-Men theme. These are $1 reprints of classic Marvel stories that tie into something that's currently going on, be it a movie or a comic event or whatever. These are all tied into X-Men because the big X-Men shakeup in comics right now. We had House of X and Powers of 10 that have now led into kind of a restart of the whole X-Men line. So today we've got two X-Men True Believers. Again, this is actually an X-Factor issue. I think last time around we also had an X-Factor issue. This is True Believers X-Men Apocalypse. So far, all of these True Believers have been the first appearances of characters, and this week is no exception because this is X-Factor number 6, and it is the first appearance of Apocalypse. This is by Louise Simonson and Jackson Geiss, known as Butch Geiss, and is the first appearance of Apocalypse. All of these old Louise Simonson X-Factor books are fun, and then you're getting into appearance of a classic X-Men villain, and you're getting it for $1. You can't go wrong. All right, put that over there. I got 3 of those, one for each boy and one for Gracie this time as well. Next up, True Believers X-Men Quainon number 1. I don't know how to say it. I have trouble pronouncing this character's other name, which is Revanche. I don't know if that's right or not, but this is her first appearance. This is kind of a It's a Fabian Nicieza X-Men issue. X-Men number 17 by Andy Kubert and Fabian Nicieza, which was part of the Soul Skinner storyline. But it has her first appearance in it, and she's kind of tied into one of these other books. No, wait, it might not be this book. I think it's Fallen Angels. But Revanche, or whatever you want to call it, back in Psylocke's body, it's very confusing, is in one of those books because Betsy Braddock is now Captain Britain. I think maybe it's Fallen Angels, but it might be Marauders that she's in. We'll find out in a second here if it's Marauders. So, got 3 of those. They're only $1. Everything's going to slide because I'm in my wife's car again, so it's all over the place. Yes, we've already seen this book. This came out a few weeks ago. But Blaze's buddy Joshua really likes Napoleon Dynamite. Keaton told him about the comic, and he asked him if I could possibly pick up an issue for him. So I went back and got another issue 1 of Napoleon Dynamite because there was 2 left. So that's an old book. I should have taken that out, but what are you going to do? This one's for Gracie, Marvel Action Spider-Man issue 10, $3.99, published by IDW, featuring Marvel characters because IDW handles a lot of the kid-type lines. I've said this about 1,000,000 times to you guys, but if you got a kid that likes Spider-Verse, this is the book for them. It's written for kids, but it's got all these characters in it. It's by Delilah Dawson with David Tinto doing the art. And, you know, it's just a fun Spider-Man book. And you know what happens after this is that the boys didn't have a comic this week. Neither of them had one of the regular books this week. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to just go totally random for Blaze. And I got him an old Spawn issue. I don't know why, but I went back and grabbed an old Spawn issue. The earliest issue that was at the shop. And I had a Spawn issue 7. Just because I've been reading a lot, or watching a lot of that Cartoonist Kayfabe channel lately, where they go back and review old Wizard magazines, and they talk about Spawn a lot, and it reminded me of the times of reading Spawn and being kind of floored by the art and the coloring and just how it was a lot different than other things I was reading at the time. And so I just grabbed him one, just a random back issue of Spawn. Man, this coloring still looks great, and the paper quality was totally different from anything back then. It really was kind of a game-changing time. And yeah, the writing's not the greatest, but the art sure is pretty. And I think this was like $4 in the back issue bins. So throw that guy over there. I highly recommend that Cartoonist Kayfabe channel if you're like an 80s, 90s grown up like me. This one's for Keaton. I'd been talking to him about this issue because he's read all the X-Men Essentials now, which actually end on X-Men issue 3, like the Jim Lee, Chris Claremont issue number 3. So after that, Chris Claremont left the book, and then later on he returned with this series, which Right here, it says, Comics legend Chris Claremont had an epic 16-year run on X-Men, which concluded with X-Men Mutant Genesis 1 through 3 in 1991. Now, in an unprecedented comics event, Claremont returns to his iconic run on the X-Men. So this is as if he just picked up right at issue 3, and all that stuff that happened after issue 3 didn't happen, and this is what Claremont kind of would have done with the book. It's by him and Tom Grummett. I think there were 2 series in all. There was X-Men Forever 1 and X-Men Forever 2. Yeah. So I think you might dig this. And it was only $4. So why not? Give it a try. I mean, he could just read this, and that could be his X-Men moving forward. It won't, but it is kind of interesting that that's where he's ended on all his trade paperbacks, and that's where he can pick up right there without having read all that other stuff. So I thought it was pretty cool. And last but not least is Marauders #1. I got this connecting cover because I got the connecting cover of the last of X-Men #1. All of the issue 1s of the new Dawn of X will have these connecting covers by Mark Bagley. So all the different series will have a connecting cover. And I said I'd give each issue 1 a chance. I don't know if I'll stick with them all, but this all spins out of the House of X Powers of 10 storyline. I did really like that. I'm just not so sure if the other writers and artists will be able to maintain the same quality as Hickman is moving forward. This one's by Jerry Dugan with art by Matteo Loli. I mean, we knew this was going to happen, that there were going to be a bunch of other X-Men books that weren't handled by Hickman. So it's just a matter of hopefully somebody is reining all these books in, checking them for quality, and moving forward with them, hopefully maintaining. I mean, it looks pretty good. It's got Kitty Pryde. It's got Storm, it looks like. Pyro, which is weird. Yeah. All right. So that's it this week. This was poopy. $4.99. I definitely am not going to keep picking them up. All of them, if they're going to be $4.99 an issue. I hope that's just an issue 1 type of deal. So that's it for this week. Kind of a light week, and I had to go off the boards a little bit since there were no regular books for the boys. What are you reading this week? I'm assuming a lot of you guys are going to read this Marauders #1, same as me, where you're giving it a chance. Definitely pick up at least this X-Men Apocalypse True Believers, but they're only $1, so you might as well get them both. Okay, cool. Well, that's it for this week. Live stream this Sunday at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, p.m. If anything changes, I'll post on the community tab on the channel, but otherwise plan for that. And I'll see you guys back here again next week, same time for the new comics. Yeah. If you like the videos, like, subscribe, notify, all that jazz, and see you guys next time.